Once there was a Filipino who lived in an era where his country was conquered and enslaved for centuries. He grew up watching the cruelty unravel in front of his own eyes and decided, out of his good intentions, to change that. He started by striving through education, commitment, and faith. He then communicated his message through his works and inspired many to bring rise and awareness to the reality of the world. And he died fighting by giving people hope through the value of self-worth and education. This is the story of Rizal, our beloved national hero, who strived for peace, equality, and love for country. And from here you will witness his final walks in life, how he changed everything and saved our motherland.
5 days, hijo. For 5 days, you say the same damn words like a broken muñeca. Not guilty for this, no culpable para ese, all for the sake of what? Patriotic services.
You are wrong. Serving in the name of my country would bring me great joy that none could ever compare with, even from the lavishing lives that you all have.
See? There you go again, with your moriria por esto, moriria por eso. Do you not admit to all of these crimes against you?
I deny any affiliations that could link me to the revolution. I wasn't part of such thing. I clearly stated that I was...
And that's where I come in. You see, mijo, we Spaniards are known to be not too lenient with the things that we want. Let's say that we have that deep passion surging us from the depths of our hearts. A certain passion that even others, such as yourself, would try to emulate in your own way. Need I say more, Senor Di Masala? You didn't really think you would be able to hide that pen name forever, would you?
I used it in Hong Kong for...
See, hijo, and that was a big mistake. Tell me, do these 5 days of endless chatter mean nothing to you? Dígame, what is it you're trying to prove?
That I am innocent!
Inocente de qué? Look at these letters, they're all against you. Mira, a letter of Antonio Luna to Mariano Ponce stating your connection to Filipino reforms. Letters to families about deportation. Your connections to propagandas in
But
España.
these are...
A poem of tyranny. A letter of Carlos Oliver stating that you would free the Philippines from oppression.
I have told you so before, Coronel. If you're trying to ask me for something new, I suggest to give up while you still can.
For someone so smart, you clearly disappoint me, Senor. Do you understand what you're saying here, Rizal? There are no turning backs from this. From this moment, nada.
Then I can only move forward.
Then forward it is. All the findings in this investigation will be handed to the appointed judge advocate. Remember, Senor, you brought this on yourself.
Adelante. ¿Qué es, General Blanco?
Saludos a usted. I have received news from Coronel Olive. He wants to appoint you as judge advocate for this infamous Rizal from Calamba.
Oh, that Indio. Why am I not surprised?
He said not to restrain oneself in handling this case. Personally, I think this man really has nothing to be condemned for, rather than writing these silly books.
So you think this man is innocent? Agree in the idiotic rumors of the patriotic Rizal? Here to free the slaves from the Spanish clutches? You believe all that?
I believe that you as the judge should be more objective, regardless of who stands before you. Careful, Kapitan. I still have a few more days before I leave my post.
Of course, it's a favor. Can you please give this to Don Nicolas de la Peña? I'm sure he would know what to do.
1 million? 1 million for his house?
Naturally, that is indemnity.
Kept in prison? Given a trial?
Can you not read, General?
I can. Mio! At least give him a lawyer, De La Peña.
Point taken. To be defended by civil law? No. By an army officer, all in the ranks from the first and second lieutenants in the Spanish army. There, let him choose. He must know a few of them.
And if he doesn't, there may be around 100, but these are army officers we're talking about.
If he lacks the nerve to simply be thankful to us, then that's not my problem. I have many more things to take care of rather than play along with this foolish Indio.
I'm beginning to doubt the way things are handled here.
And how are things being handled here? Care to take my position, considering that you would soon lose yours?
No importa. I will inform him right away.
Tell me, how many can you recognize?
1.
And it was Don Luis de Andrade, the first lieutenant of the artillery, which was the brother of Jose de Andrade that was with him in Calamba. Don Luis gladly accepted his task, to defend his brother's fabled Dr. Rizal of Calamba. For days, Taviel de Andrade and Jose Rizal spent their time formulating plans for hours, preparing for the trial by questioning their ideas, looking for loopholes, and searching for solutions. On most days, they would fight over an idea and be frustrated with each other. But there are those rare times where they would concord and finally piece their minds together in agreement.
Saludos a usted. Now that the accused has chosen his defensor, the following charges are presented as follows. Senor Jose Mercado Rizal is accused as the principal organizer and the living soul of the Filipino insurrection, the founder of societies, periodicals, and books dedicated to fomenting and propagating ideas of rebellion.
I do not understand. No entiendes. How could he be charged with a rebellion?
I did write the Constitution of the Liga Filipina, but it was a civic association.
Presenta, senor. But I am afraid you would take no further statements in the politics of the state. Farewell to you.
Jose Rizal, I do not know what's happening inside that head of yours. But I need you to cooperate with me.
Can't do anything. It's us against the country.
No. It's us against injustice.
December 25, 1892, the saddest Christmas. Imagine spending a well-known holiday all alone inside a small cell in jail, thinking of the prospect of death awaiting you. That's how it was for Rizal. In a cold, dark room, probably imagining having spent it with his family and friends, only to think back about the situation as a framed revolutionist, awaiting for his death sentence. How sadder can it be to spend his last week in his life without anyone he loved, and only with the revisiting thoughts of freedom and sadness resonating in his battered body, mind, and soul, accompanying him by himself alone. That's how he spent it. That's how he spent his last day of Christmas.
Dr. Jose Rizal E. Mercado, who owes it all to the Spain since it was in her universities that he studies medicine, is one of the principal, if not the principal, figure in the uprising. May we call on the prosecutor?
Dr. Rizal, the man behind the unlawful literary works, namely Noli Me Tangere, Annotations to the History of the Philippines by Morga, and El Filibusterismo along with the rest, imprinted the idea of wars against religious orders on his people to protect this mere colony. It is no doubt Jose Rizal is a perpetrator of the rebellion, masking himself as a good guy, the hero guiding his people along with his treacherous journey. As a symbol and catalyst of this rebellion, he must suffer the consequences through the penalty of the penal code by punishment of death.
Defending consultant, you may now take the floor.
Throughout the years, Rizal's name has been the war cry of the people, symbolizing the icon of the revolution. Claimed his name and presence to be a threat to cause disarray among the people between the España and the Philippines. On what grounds exactly? Has Rizal ever spoke of turning his back from Spain out loud? Has he hated our motherland so much to the point of savagery, destroying our sacred country directly? Has he gallantly waved a weapon of choice in demands of bloodshed for change to happen? I don't think so. Although his so-called controversialities of literary works sold him as the subject of hate and rage, these works of critical judgment is an advocation of the Philippines' rights as a step to national security and independence of this country. Through his daring mind and skills, he obtained the respect of his people alone, with good intentions to the Spaniards, even with those who rates him as a traitor because of it. And because of these biases, it made clear that judging him fairly is impossible from this angle. Now, has the prosecutors any pang of guilt? Did Rizal's theoretical standing of how our country should be placed on an equal ground of respect showed inconsistency? Is that why you rejected? Is that why you suppressed it? Or was it just indecency and battered egos that made the decisions for us? In an objective perspective, his works doesn't even add up to directly aggravate ties and encourage an uprising. Rizal affirms for 4 years, since 1892 to 1896, as an exile in Dapitan, he stayed shut from anything that goes political. Even his encounter with Don Pio Valenzuela, who asked him to join and pioneer the revolt by coming with them and saving himself by escaping this inevitable day from his fate, he still rejected it. From this, we can rationally give thought to the verdict, and that so, we plead in the name of blind justice that he is not guilty. The judges cannot be vindictive. The judges can only be just. From those victimized by the revolt, directly and indirectly, losing the ones they love, please don't let the desires of revenge and contempt get ahead of us. Give that part to those who are in battle. Let us speak of this trial fairly and objectively. Let us judge Jose Rizal, Mercado T. Alonso, not for the sake of revenge, but for the sake of justice. The defense rests.
Does the accused wish to add anything in his defense?
Concerning the rebellion since July 6, 1892, I have not engaged in politics until June 1 of this year, when Dr. Valenzuela came to notify me about an uprising, thus proving that I have no prior contact with them.
For if I were in touch, I would have already known about such a grave matter as an uprising. Another negative proof They do not hold any previous letter from me. They exploited my name very cruelly. And at that last moment, by surprise, they wanted to take me.
Why did they not contact me earlier? Possibly because they knew that I, although less than conceited, was resigned about my exile, and I refused to consider many various schemes to escape from the Dapitan. Regarding the rebellion, July 6, 1892, since my stay in the Dapitan, I have not engaged in politics until June 1, when Dr. Valenzuela informed me about it, in which I rejected him and advised him not to. That was our first engagement with each other. Therefore, that was the first time I've heard of the uprising revolution. If I was the chief of the revolution, why was I not consulted by the revolutionists in the hour of their planning stage? Why now, where they have ruined my profile and rescued me in pursuit of their spite against spite? Another fact suggests that I have a previous letter as evidence of being in cahoots with them. That is false. As stated previously, I have no contact with them until June 1. Knowing this now, they have sullied and abused my good name without me being aware of it. If I was guilty, I would have flown to Singapore. And going back, if I was indeed the perpetrator, I wouldn't have stayed as exile, but instead fled to Moravinta and not invest in the Dapitan, of whom I was familiar with. Why did they not visit? Because they know I have left politics behind. And they are aware that I am not in favor of obtaining freedom through a destructible revolt. All I desire for my motherland, Philippines, is to know and experience the essence of liberty, not through brute force and bloody wars, but through the value of education.
The court will be having a short recess to discuss the further implications of the trial. The final decisions has been made. The judges have concluded in this verdict that we find the defendant guilty.
¡Viva la España! ¡Get him already! Execute him! ¡Puta madre!
This tribunal condemns Don Jose Rizal Mercado E. Alonso with the penalty of death. So decreed and ordered by the Ordinary Court Martial of Post as witnessed by the President and members of the tribunal.
The day before his execution, visitors came to see him. It was a very grueling and exhausting day, both physically and emotionally. Some faces he knew, some faces he wasn't familiar with, and some faces he would have wished he valued more of his time when he had the chance. But never did he expect his grueling situation. Until he saw the ever-loving face of his beloved mother.
I can't believe it. It's not true. It's not true.
Professor Ferdinand Blumentritt, my dear brother, when you receive this letter, I shall be dead. Tomorrow at 7, I shall be shot. But I am innocent of the crime of rebellion. I'm going to die with a tranquil conscience. Goodbye, my best, my dearest friend, and never think ill of me. To my family, I ask you for forgiveness for the pain I caused you. But someday, I shall have to die, and it is better than I die now, in the plenitude of my conscience. Dear parents, brother, and sisters, give thanks to God that I may preserve my tranquility before my death. I die resigned, hoping that with my death, you will be left in peace. Ah, it is better to die than to live suffering. Console yourselves. I enjoin you to forgive one another the little meanness of your life, and try to live united in peace and good harmony. Treat your old parents as you would like to be treated by your children later. Love them very much in my memory. My beloved father, pardon me for the pain with which I repay you, for sorrows and sacrifices for my education. I did not want, nor did I prefer it. Goodbye, Father. Goodbye.
His death march at Bagumbayan, where his execution would take place, was solemn. However, even with the situation, he remained calm. He walked with his defense counsel, Lieutenant Luis Tabelde Adrade, and two Jewish fabrics, March and Villaclara, whose arms tied around with a rope from elbow to elbow, while walking from Fort Santiago to Plaza del Palacio in front of Manila Cathedral. Jose Rizal, a martyr facing his death, never bothered, didn't break a sweat. And onwards he marched, facing forward, prepared to sacrifice himself for his beloved country. Rizal bade farewell to Luis March and Villaclara, and to his defender Lieutenant Luis Taviel de Andrade. Although his arms were tied, he firmly clasped their hands in parting. One of the priests blessed him and offered him a crucifix to kiss.
En el nombre del rey, el juez se levante, la voz a favor del rey será educado. Atención! Apunten! Fuego!
It was exactly 7:03 in the morning, aged 35 years, 5 months, and 11 days.